Hello, we are going to go over our notes for revising writing. The acronym that I like to use is ARMS, so you'll need to be in the next page in your writing notebook. And down the side, it's an acronym. We're going to write A, R, M, S, and I kind of just wrote it arbitrarily. You might want to do it on the lines. A, these are things when you revise, it's after you've, I like to edit and revise kind of at the same time, but, they're one of the last steps in the writing process, and this is just making your writing as nice and awesome as it can be. So the A, if you've read your piece and you need to do something to make it just a little bit better, something you can do. A is for add. You can add more details to your writing. Maybe you didn't describe something enough, or you can add transitions. So let's just say it goes from one idea to the next. Well, we might need to add some transitions, and we will learn how to do that in a very effective way this year. One step at a time, right? The next thing you can do, maybe you've written something and it just sounds like you said the same thing over and over and over again. I do it all the time, on accident, of course. And when you're drafting, that's what you should do. Just get it all down, because you could always do this. You can always edit your paper to make it better. So R stands for remove. So maybe you need to take out unnecessary stuff. Necess. Unnecessary details. So maybe you say the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe, I don't know. It just depends on the piece. Maybe it just doesn't go with what you're trying to say. The next thing you can do, maybe the flow is not totally good, and we will do examples in part 2 of this later on. Maybe the flow of the writing just seems weird, so you can always move paragraphs around. So you may need to move the order of paragraphs or sentences to make more sense, right? Okay, and the last thing you can do is you can substitute, and this one's my favorite, and we will do a lesson probably next week about our word choice, but you can substitute word choice amongst other things. Okay, super important. It can take your writing from like meh to like a distinguished, awesome piece of writing. We're actually going to go ahead and do some examples. So the first example I have, I'm going to write like a sentence that's okay, and then we're going to revise it to make it better. And the theme is ice cream. Woohoo! So the sentence that I'm starting with is ice cream is good. Maybe you're writing a paper about ice cream. Ice cream is good. Is that a good sentence? Yes. Is that an important sentence to write? Yes. We're talking about ice cream, But to make it better, what could I write? Why is ice cream good? What about ice cream is good? Right? You can ask yourself these questions to add to. So if I were going to revise this particular sentence, I would say, ice cream is good. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Ice cream is good because you can get it in many flavors. That's true, right? That's why I like ice cream, amongst other things. And then you go on. But if you started with the sentence and you drafted it, that's perfectly good. That's normal. Then you can add to make it better. All right? Let's go on to remove. Let's say you write this sentence. Ice cream, has many flavors. I like ice cream. 2 flavors of ice cream. You can always pause this video to catch up. I'm trying to go fast to keep the video short. Are chocolate and vanilla. All right. So I'm just writing. There's a sentence there's a part of this that doesn't totally go with the flow. If we were writing about ice cream, we're doing, let's say, an informational piece about ice cream, or even we are doing an opinion piece, but we haven't really gotten to our opinion yet. This sentence, I like ice cream, doesn't really need to be there. Maybe we would move it to a part where I like ice cream because, but if I were going to revise my paper, I really just don't feel like that sentence fits. So I'm just going to remove it. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. So I'm just going to remove it. Okay. Now, let's say the next part of our writing piece, and this is an example of how to move things. So let's say we're going to write more about my ice cream. This is making me hungry. Sprinkles can add color. Oops, sorry. And crunch, right? And then we're also going to say there are many different kinds of toppings. And let's say I go on to say, like, another topping is hot fudge. It makes the ice cream warm and cold at the same time. My thing that I want you to think about, if I were going to make my writing as good as possible, this is good. However, this sentence right here, there are many different, look at me editing, there are many different kinds of toppings. I feel like that should go first. So I'm going to draw an arrow, make sure it goes first. And then I say sprinkles, add color and crunch, hot fudge, blah, 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 blah. See how that kind of makes it better. And these are things that as you write and as you gain more experience and as you get more feedback from me, these are things that it becomes more natural to do. The last thing, and we are going to do a whole big old lesson about this. I'm going to try to do this whole group. I'm going to go back to my first sentence that I did up here. Ice cream is good. That is a fine sentence. It's just that. If I described everything in the world as good, fine, bad, yay, meh, it's boring. It doesn't tell me anything about it. I want you to pause the video and write down 5 words that you think you could use to describe ice cream. Maybe you don't like ice cream and your words are going to be interesting, but 5 words we could replace good with to describe ice cream. Pause it. Okay, hopefully you're back. Some words that I might have: delicious, yummy, creamy, excellent. Oh, this one's fun. Scrumptious. That makes me think of Willy Wonka. I don't know why. Tasty. Amazing. There are so many words that I could use instead of good. When you're drafting, writing that word down, that's good. But that's when you go to a thesaurus and you look up other words. So you think maybe you use this. Maybe you said ice cream is delicious like 5 times throughout your paper. And you might want to change it up with some synonyms, right? So this just makes your paper even better. And you could choose any of those to just make it better. This has been our notes about revising. We will continue to work on this. And this is done while you edit. You can go back to your writing process notes. One of your assignments is to revise. I'm looking for things that you're adding. I'm looking for substitutions of words. And I do want you to highlight it or change the font color so that I know what you've added, moved, removed, and substituted, okay? Thanks for joining in our lesson. Thanks for taking these notes.